Oh my goodness, I love that sweet face. Hey Scrap Bosses, welcome back to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. Today I'm creating a summer layout with a watercolor background. I'm going to show you in just a second. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel. When you do, click the bell indicator. That way you'll know each and every time a new video is posted. So I am scrapbooking these two cute little photos of my daughter, and this was on a day when we went to Bahama Bucks and got snow cones, and she got a cherry snow cone. We practically live at Bahama Bucks during the summertime, and I wanted to document this as sort of a kickoff to my summer scrapbooking. So I have this kit that I put together maybe a couple of years ago. Then I forgot about it last year. Then I unearthed it when I moved into my home, and I decided, you know what, I need to use this stuff up. There's so many papers and embellishments from various different manufacturers, from Pink Fresh Studio to American Crafts. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in here, so I need to use it. So to get started, I grabbed two pieces of scrap paper from my kit, and I'm going to create a watercolor background, but I also want a layered pattern paper to go on top of the watercolor background. And then I'm going to use the layered pattern papers as an anchor for my photos. Now, when I'm doing this technique, if I'm layering any papers, I want to go ahead and get those taken care of first. I'm going to adhere all those papers together, and once they're adhered, it gives me the option to be able to move them around on my background. To begin this technique, you're going to need an acrylic block, a spray bottle, and your distress inks. Now, if you're not familiar with distress inks, this ink is very reactive to water, so it works perfect for this watercolor background. If you're new to mixed media, or maybe you want to create this type of background and you're a little bit shy about it, this is a great way to go to create a watercolor background because it's so simple. Now I'm looking in my swatch book here, and what I'm looking for is to see how the colors look on paper. So I have Spice Marmalade, Mustard Seed, and Worn Lipstick. So now that I've confirmed that those are the colors that I want to use, I'm going to go ahead and create my watercolor background. You're going to apply the product to your acrylic block, then you're going to spray it with some water. And once you spray it, of course, the more water you use, the less concentrated the product's going to be. The less water you use, the more concentrated. So if you want a darker color, then use less water. You want a lighter color, use more water. Now, all I'm doing is I'm simply dabbing the product on my background in the area where I want this product to show up. And what happens is the acrylic block allows you to have a little bit more control over where you put the product. And notice that beautiful watercolor effect. Now, I want this to show as much as possible, so I'm kind of going in a diagonal fashion. So I have the top bit to the right, and then, of course, a little bit more down to the left-hand side, so that just come out from behind the pattern paper. Now I'm going to layer on some other colors. So the trick with layering colors, you're going to do it the very same way you did with the first one. Apply it to your acrylic block, add some water, and then of course you'll apply it on top of the color. Whenever you're doing layers, you're going to put your first base down, or your first layer color down, let that dry a little bit, and then put your second color down. And what that does is it prevents those colors from mixing together, and then you don't have a muddy mess. Now, the yellow that I put down, that mustard seed, wasn't dry all the way, and that's okay. But if I'm layering more colors, then I want to make sure that I'm drying in between each application so you can see the layers very well. Next up, I have Worn Lipstick. Same thing. I'm going to put that product right on my acrylic block, add some water, and then apply it where I want to on my layout. And notice that it's starting to have this really cool watercolor effect. It's beautiful. Now I'm going to take my heat tool in just a second. I'm going to dry this up. Now I'm using textured cardstock, so I was not worried about prepping the paper with gesso. But you can prep your paper with gesso so that you can have less bending and bowing of your paper once that water kind of seeps into the fibers. Now, while my background is drying, what I want to do is I want to mount my photos against this ombre pink paper. Pink is one of my daughter's favorite colors, and so I like to use pink as much as I can sometimes on her layouts. And of course, it goes great with her little cherry red lips that she's sporting as a result of eating her cherry snow cone. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere these photos, and notice I have the photos layered on top of each other. I'm going to adhere those to the pattern paper base. And to the back of the whole piece there, I'm going to add some fun foam, which I've already have some double-sided tape from scrapbook.com. On that fun foam, I'm going to add some more double-sided tape here in a minute. Now, one of the things to be mindful of is whenever you're doing a mixed media background, you want to make sure you're using a good adhesive. So whatever elements that you place on top of whatever mixed media product that you're using, whether it's watercolors, acrylic paint, whatever, you want to make sure that you have adhesive that's strong enough to hold on your layout. Now I'm taking my heat tool, I'm going to dry this up a bit. Now you can, of course, make a whole bunch of these backgrounds and set them aside to dry. This is a great exercise if you're kind of have a lack of creative mojo, as you can sit there and make all kinds of watercolor backgrounds. Once that's dry, I'm going to add 2 strips of pattern paper, one at the top and one at the bottom. And sometimes I like doing this because it allows for the elements in the middle of the page to somewhat be contained. It doesn't feel like the elements are going to fall off the page. So I'm going to go ahead and here, there's a multicolored stripe one at the top. Then I have this cutout that I was trying to use in a previous project. I decided to use it on this layout. It says relax, and I believe in parentheses it says summertime. So relax, it's summertime. Now I want to go ahead and get my photos and my layered pattern paper adhered. And once I put that down against my watercolor background, it just popped. It's so perfect for this layout. Next up, I want to work on my title. So that word summertime comes from a sticker sheet from a kit that's called I Love Sunshine by Lori Whitlock for Echo Park. And then those letter fonts with the dip gold is actually a Hip Kit Club exclusive that I got a couple of years ago. Now I thought I would put the title above the photos, and it looks like it's kind of arched, but then I don't like it. So I'm going to grab some foam adhesive. I'm going to back the summertime die cut with that foam adhesive. So I'm going to put that at the top. And then I'm going to put the word smile at the bottom. And I'm looking at it to see if I have it centered. I don't have an eye for straight. I probably should invest in a centering ruler, but you know, I'm lazy. So it doesn't really matter to me that much. As long as it looks good to me, that's all that matters. Then I have this die cut that says the simple things. And what I want to do, at first I thought I was going to adhere that to the bottom there under the word smile. I'm actually going to change the position of that die cut towards the end. So you'll get to see that here in just a few. But I want to add just a little bit of texture. So I'm going to staple it on either end with my tiny attacher. I'm going to stick it right there temporarily. It's going to come up. Next up, I want to start embellishing. So out of the kit, of course, you saw me use those sticker fonts. Those are from Hip Kit Club. I'm also going to use some wood veneer pieces from Hip Kit Club's Summer Bliss collection. These Amy Tangerine stickers, as well as some stickers from the I Love Sunshine kit by Echo Park. And so I grabbed some of these little popsicle embellishments, which are perfect. Now, since my daughter was eating snow cones, and I thought, you know, hey, this would be a great layout to use all those icons. So I'm going to create some layered embellishments to the right and left of the photo. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere down this little sticker. Some of these stickers, I actually dulled the sticky on the back with some powder, with my powder tool. That way I can position them on my layout and see where I want them before I actually stick them down. I also have this wood veneer snow cone that I want to use. I put a little bit of foam behind that. Since the photo layer is popped up on foam, then I want to make sure that it stood up to the height of that photo layer. Next up, I'm going to take this die cut. I want to say that is from a Maggie Holmes collection, but I can't remember. So I go ahead and lay that down as an anchor for this other little popsicle that I'm going to pop up using a little bit of fun foam with that. Then I have another wood veneer flower. And then I have this tag here that says love, but I'm not going to use it. I have a hard time kind of working out what else I wanted to layer on either side of the photo, but I eventually get there. So I have these 2 wood veneer flowers. Those popsicles that are layered on top of the die cuts are wood veneer as well. They're fantastic elements from Hip Kit Club. Then I grabbed this little beach ball sticker from that Echo Park sticker set. And I think that that rounded that little embellishment part out nicely. Now I have this tab, and this is from October Afternoon. I miss them with all of my heart. I love their embellishments so much. If you're not familiar with October Afternoon, they stopped manufacturing scrapbooking supplies a couple of years ago, and I miss them so much. So I added some adhesive to the back of that tab, and it's a double-sided tab, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the left-hand side of my layout underneath my photo. And to that tab, I'm going to stamp a sentiment here in just a few. So I'm looking at my sticker sheet, and I want to add just a few more things. So to the right-hand side, I add a sticker that says "So sweet," because of course that's appropriate when you're talking about snow cones and ice cream. And of course my daughter looks incredibly sweet in these photos. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that on top of the little popsicle there. Next up, I want to add something to the bottom, but before I do that, I have a sticker that I'm going to add to the left-hand side, and that says "Summer Lovin'," so I'm going to get that positioned. I'm going to move that label that was underneath the word "smile," and I'm going to move that right there on top of my photo. And I think it looks a lot better there, a little bit more balanced than underneath the word "smile." I'm going to break out these Amy Tangerine stickers, and I'm going to put an arrow there right under the left photo just to add a bit of direction. And I love these stickers. They're a clear sticker, and they're perfect on layouts. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to add any more stickers, and I do. So from the sticker sheet, I found this butterfly, but I didn't really like it. So I added the flower instead at the bottom, layered on top of that tab that says "relaxed." I had a few more Amy Tangerine stickers run to the right hand side of the word smile and one at the bottom that looks like a stitched sticker. Now I'm going to take these LE Studio currently dated stamp set, or I think it's called currently. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp the word loving on top of that label. So I'm taking a little bit of VersaFine ink and Onyx Black, and I'm going to stamp that right on top of the label. And there we go. I love that little bit of black there at the top. And with that, I'm going to call this layout done. I am loving this watercolor background. It came together so simply just using an acrylic block, a little bit of water, and some distress ink. You can totally do this technique. By the way, if you like this content and you're ready to deep dive and want some exclusive content, consider joining Victoria Marie on Patreon. When you become a Victoria Marie patron, you get access to exclusive content you can't find anywhere else, from tutorials to live streams to extended process videos and much more. To learn more, click on the Patreon link down below. I would love to have you. And speaking of patrons, this video is made possible in part by the Victoria Marie Scrap Boss patrons. With their support, I am able to do what I love, and that is to inspire scrapbookers to document their stories and make beautiful layouts. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. When you do, click the bell indicator. That way you'll be notified each and every time there's a new video that's posted. See you next time.